Good morning and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. We appreciate you listening. Feel free to give us a call today or any day, 612-504-8400. Visit us online at havenfinancialgroup.com. Kim, good to be with you. Every week we talk about retirement and misconceptions and the good, the bad, the ugly, and it's always good to be with you.
Well, thank you very much, and it's always great to be with you. It would be great sometime if we could talk about certainty in the economy, wouldn't it? I think you and I have been together for years, and we still keep talking about uncertainty, and today is no exception. We're going to talk about leaving uncertainty behind when it comes to retirement. And if anybody's been watching financial news or just keeping up with news in general, uncertainty really is a word that people seem to be using. Don't you think, Larry?
Oh, I definitely agree. I mean, there's always moving pieces out there. There's always change, laws change, world affairs, economic data. It can get very overwhelming for a lot of people. And what we try to do is simplify things, not complicate things. It's different. There should be an awareness and understanding of folks, but don't overwhelm yourself with all the news that's out there because that's not healthy either.
No, it certainly is not. So today, like Larry says, we're going to try to simplify things. The first thing we're going to talk about is inflation and understanding your options. Inflation is always really has to be part of the equation. But Larry, you guys at Haven Financial Group recognize that. And whenever you're putting together a portfolio, you're always thinking about the possibility of or the existing inflation factors.
We've always factored it in. I still am amazed there's some advisors out there that don't, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever because inflation is a game changer, the purchasing power of the dollar. We actually use in our projections, Monte Carlo projections, we use a higher than historical number. We would rather plan for the worst and hope and pray for the best rather than overperform, rather than underperform. So it's got to be part of the overall plan. If it's not, you're not doing accurate projections. That does not make any sense.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, over our lifetimes, I think all of us know that we have seen the ebb and flow of inflation, whether it's 1%, and we've all seen inflation be much higher than that. That is for certain. And so chances are very good because retirements can last, who knows, 20, 30 years. Inflation will be a part of your retirement.
It will. We got to factor it in. Over long periods of time, it's going to happen. They're going to ebb and its flow, just like the stock market, just like everything else. Let's plan for it because it's going to happen. It will affect your money one way, shape, or form, but it does it's why you and I talk every week about having a plan that incorporates all of these things in the most efficient way possible. That's really the key when it comes to making retirement decisions.
Well, let's talk about how you can plan for inflation. It actually sort of, when you think about that out of this context, you have to sort of laugh about that because how do we plan for inflation? One never knows, from one moment to the next. But you guys have a way to do so. So let's walk through that.
Well, first of all, looking at what type of money are we looking at? Is it money sitting in cash, just kind of stale, not keeping up and obviously eroding? It's in the type of investments that we incorporate in your portfolio, depending upon what type of accounts they are, Roth accounts, IRA accounts, brokerage accounts. What do you have in your portfolio? Are there adjustments that are being done like our investment team is doing to making sure that we have some efficient investments in there that adapt with inflation, whether it's, treasury inflation, protected securities. It's constantly looking at we don't move things around just to move things around, but we know that your portfolio shouldn't be a set it and leave it and never take a peek at it. If that's all that they're doing or all you're doing or whoever's working for you is doing, you might want to get a second look, a peek under the hood, if you will, because that's not the attention that you want, especially when it comes to tax planning. Is whoever you're working with, are they doing tax planning with you? Most aren't. Tax loss harvesting, creating the portfolios that are the most efficient. And you and I talk every week about having good liquidity, important. Stock market investments, probably important for most of the listeners out there. But do you have any investments that have principal protection? Again, many don't. Many don't even know what that looks like. But it's having a good balance. It's a balancing act between these types of monies, looking at all the options and being able to adapt when these inflation numbers, they do go up. We can pivot and make some adjustment and changes that can really help our clients and their portfolio specifically.
Yeah, I think that's something that you talk about a lot here on the show. The idea of being flexible enough to pivot and having a partner who understands maybe when the time has come and it's time to start to pivot some of those investments.
Yeah, withdrawal rates, just this past week, I had probably a handful of folks that just retired. And now they need to generate some income because up until this point, it was just put it away in the 401k, save, save, save. And now they're like, okay, no more paychecks. Where are we going to draw from? Withdrawal percentages, what accounts, driven by the tax conversation. But then as inflation goes up and it goes down, we can make some changes, or we can adapt to those numbers. So again, it's about having a plan, talking through that in the good times and bad, probably more in the bad times just because of uncertainty. And that makes people jittery. I had one of my clients this week. She was in, and she's just been dealt a lot of health challenges, and she was unable to work. Then she had surgery, and she was going to go back to work. Her husband wants to retire. They've done a great job. And again, we've put a plan together in the last 3 years with them. But then she broke down and said she got her cancer back. The good news is I could sit and tell her, you don't have to go back to work because you guys have put yourself in a good position. We don't always have those good conversations. We also have to have the tough conversations. And maybe that's, if you're listening today, maybe that's actually what you need. A conversation, number one, a good conversation, whatever the conversation is, to make sure you're addressing your retirement situation and making sure you're in the right place at the right time in all of these retirement areas that you and I talk about on a weekly basis.
Yeah. Some of besides the idea of moving your investments around when these inflationary times maybe hit highs that start to impact your ability to live your lifestyle. I would imagine you have some people who come in and say, hey, Larry, what if I thought about during these sort of tougher times right now, taking on a part-time job? These are the kinds of things that you can sit and talk to people about too, the benefits and maybe the reality of what that might mean to their overall retirement.
Yeah, it's really, we have those conversations. We do have folks that go get a part-time job or consulting or Home Depot, whatever it may be, just picking up a few hours. A little paycheck can go a long ways, especially for maybe some of those lifestyle expenses that can creep up, and having that budget, which again, nobody wants to talk about. But, some of these things that have gone up significantly, maybe there's an ability to cut out a little bit of that or offset it with some part-time employment. These are all the conversations, but the problem is many aren't having these conversations. Right. They're not getting the attention. They maybe get a meeting once or twice a year for 45 minutes to an hour. And all the retirement puzzle pieces certainly requires more attention than that. And that's what we give them at Haven Financial Group.
Yeah, even in the best of times, they require more attention than that. But in these times of uncertainty, certainly more conversations are needed. If we talk about anything today that resonates with you, folks at Haven Financial Group would love to hear from you. Let me give you their number. It's 612-504-8400. Give it to you again, 612-504-8400. You can call today, you can call next week. Call when it seems like it's a good time, but set up an appointment. Go in, no obligation. Just go sit down and talk to the folks there at Haven about what your goals are when it comes to retirement. You have to start somewhere, as Larry likes to say. And without a plan, you can't plan. It doesn't help, does it, Larry? No plan does not move you into retirement smoothly.
It doesn't. I think a takeaway from this first segment is, a lot of this can seem to be very complicated, overwhelming, inflationary rates, return on investment. It's, oh my goodness, help me out. And this does not have to be complicated.
Right.
Much of what we like to do is to simplify, consolidate, put it in layman's terms so people understand it. Not to try to impress you with all the big words I learned last week, but let's be relatable. And again, that goes a long way with our clients saying, you know what? We actually understand it for the first time.
Terrific. Again, that number 612-504-8400. You can also check them out on their website. It's havenfinancialgroup.com. When we come back, why your finances don't have to care about the markets. That's coming on the other side of the break, everybody. This is the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.